let's move on to the top 5 games of the week. We're
There
gonna
it
start off.
is. The middle. Oh,
Yeah, I put it
God.
in the middle just
What's
because
Cody Turner?
Cody Turner. All right, we're gonna start off with UCLA hosting the Trojans. UCLA only favored 2.5. Seth, what are your thoughts here? Is this a trap game for Lincoln Riley and the boys, or what are you thinking?
I don't know if USC's defense can keep up with UCLA's offense. I think they had a bad week last week, and when they got beat, the Trojans. Let's just put it how it is. The Trojans are basically carried by Caleb Williams every single week. If they did not have the top 3 quarterback in the country, they would be 3-4 loss team this year. Caleb Williams is what he was made out to be coming out of high school. He's electric. He's an amazing quarterback talent. But I don't think the defense can keep, like I said already, I don't think they can keep up. And I don't think USC is going to be able to make the points up. So I'm going to take UCLA at home.
Wow. In the Rose Bowl, huh?
This one's getting tough for me because I really like UCLA. I like Dorian Thompson, the quarterback for UCLA. Caleb Williams, in my eyes, is the best quarterback in the country. He's 31 touchdowns to 2 interceptions, 3,000 yards at like 68% completion percentage. The dude is absolutely on fire. Scores like 50 points a game. He does everything he needs to do to not turn the ball over, puts his team in great position. I just got a weird feeling, man, that the USC is going to roll into UCLA and just put a hurt on them, man. I like USC to win this game, and I like it by a lot too. What do you think, Barrett?
Well, UCLA just lost at home to Arizona. So you're really picking back-to-back home losses for UCLA, or you're picking, Trojans to get just out offense. But that's because Alex Grinch stinks. Their defense stinks. Overall, though, I think USC just has a little bit better talent, and I hate to do it because I like the Bruins, man, but I'm going to have to take USC, dude.
USC has a tough remaining schedule. I mean, they face UCLA, Notre Dame, and then whoever they face in the Pac-12, which is probably going to be Utah or Oregon.
Yeah. I mean, they only lost to Utah by 1 point.
And in my opinion, if USC wins that remaining schedule, you knock off 16 UCLA, 18 Notre Dame, who's probably going to go up after this week. You knock off the top 10 Oregon or Utah. I think they're in. I think they're in the top 4.
That's a gauntlet.
It is a gauntlet. That's a tough schedule. But I think if they win all those games, you have to put them in. Like, you just have to.
So
those are 3 really hard teams to beat at the end of the year. And if they do it, you got to throw them in.
If UCLA wins, do they essentially play the winner of Utah and Oregon for the Pac-12? I guess no, because they could lose one more game. So we'd have to see. Yeah,
there's still one more game to decide that. It's whoever wins out that last game. If USC loses, then it kind of goes like a 4-way tiebreaker. But I think no matter what, it's going to be between Oregon and Utah. It's going to be in the championship game, and then it's going to be between the Trojans and UCLA on the other side. It's kind of vague, but now that I said it out loud. All right, we move on to Utah at Oregon. Oregon favored 3 in this contest. I like Oregon to just put a whooping on Utah. This is their game. They need to make a statement. As a 2-loss team rolling in, just bounced out of the top 10. If they can come in and take down Utah and finish off the year strong against Oregon State and then the Pac-12 championship, they have a chance to hop right back in the playoffs. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but they have a chance. Seth, what do you think? Who you like to win this game?
Oh man, Oregon gets back-to-back home games. They just lost to Washington at home. Probably going to go in the same route. I think it's a little bit of we're pissed off. We're going to get back into this. Bo Nix. I'm going to take Oregon at home.
No 2-loss team is getting in. LSU literally has a route to get in.
LSU. You know, both of you guys take Oregon, and what has happened? What has happened when both of you guys have taken Oregon?
Yeah, but
They
Oregon's not.
lose.
They're about to start their second streak of the longest
They lose.
home game winning streak. They got snapped last week. They're gonna pick it right back up after this week. Chalk them up.
Give me Utah.
Uh,
Oregon will take their third straight L on Barrett's anti-Oregon pick.
Wow. All right, we got TCU at Baylor. This line is on here because TCU's only favored 2.5. And when I looked at the line earlier this week,
Oof.
I don't know if it was a typo. They had Baylor favored by 1 point earlier this week, and it's kind of flipped. It's 2.5. I like to think that was a typo put in by a couple of the betting sites. So I was just like, you know what? Let me look today. I looked today. It's 2.5. So I updated the sheet. Seth, do you think it's a trap game for TCU rolling into Waco?
No, because they play. Who do they play next week? Kansas? No, they already played Kansas. They finished off the season against not so great Big 12 team. So I don't think so. I think you got to take care of business right here. You win the Big 12 championship, you go on to the playoffs. Maybe next week. I don't know why
against
TCU's,
Iowa State.
Yeah, and a decent defensive team. I don't know. I think Baylor. Everybody thinks that Baylor's going to come out and just run the football all over them, and that's what. And they play good defense. So I think that's why they think they're going to shut TCU down. Is what I saw, but I don't think TCU has an issue beating Baylor this weekend, even in Waco. I mean, I'd take TCU minus the 2.5.
Yeah, Barrett, what do you think?
Yeah, TCU's got to keep it rolling, man. They're the Big 12's only hope. So, got to keep it. I'm taking TCU.
Yeah, I like TCU. They take care of Baylor. I mean, the same way they took care of Texas. It's just chalk it up for TCU. Allow them to walk into the Big 12 championship.
Well, at Texas.
All right, then we have Georgia at Kentucky. I scrolled through the list, didn't see a lot of other games that really felt like it was kind of a big play game. Kentucky was ranked. They had a really good quarterback. Georgia's obviously the number one team in the country. Georgia's favored 22.5. Seth, I'm not going to ask you, is Kentucky going to win? Because we all know Georgia's going to win this game. But do you think Kentucky covers that spread?
Kentucky, they lost 2 straight in a row. They're not looking so hot. They're really reeling out here. Whenever you first look at the season halfway through, you said, oh, man, Mark Stoops, this team is going to contend. They're back down in the SEC. I think Georgia is going to put the hurting on Kentucky. So I think Georgia probably covers 22.5. A lot of points, but Kentucky has not looked good the last 2 weeks.
Barrett, what do you think? Kentucky, do they cover this, or does Georgia just outpace them?
I think Georgia steamrolls, but Vance, I mean, clearly you're missing a game here. ESPN Plus, 1:30. I mean, you got Old Dominion at Appalachian State.
Oh,
man.
Probably, I thought you were about to tell me I missed Army versus Navy or something. Dang.
No, that's not.
I can't believe ODU, dude.
Yeah, I was like, I thought Army versus Navy was later.
Taylor, the starting quarterback of the Washington Commanders, who beat the shit out of the dog shit Eagles, Taylor Heineke, his alma mater there, Old Dominion. Oh man,
big week for ODU.
yeah, it's a big week.
Big week for ODU. Shit. All right, Georgia. I think Georgia's going to steamroll this game. Kentucky just, 2 straight losses. They're kind of falling off. They had a hot early in the year where they actually got like a pretty high ranking earlier this year. But I don't think they have a chance to really contend with Georgia. I think Georgia's going to steamroll their way into the SEC championship and get ready to face down LSU. Now we move on to the game of the week for us anyways. Number 24 OSU versus unranked Oklahoma.
Oh, God.
OU favored
whopping
24 ranked Oklahoma State. Sorry. I mixed it up with the better OSU. Sorry. OU favored 7.5. Seth, do you see anything wrong with this line, or is this kind of like what we expect?
Every OSU fan will tell you, this line's right. We don't, blah, blah. Why is Oklahoma favorite? I have no clue. They can't stop a nosebleed on defense. DG is inaccurate and missing wide open passes on offense. I mean, we're just struggling. We lost West Virginia last week. That should tell you all you need to know about losing to a 2-7 program. Right there. Big time recruiting weekend though for this week. It's going to be cold. It's going to be at the Palace. So I'm taking Oklahoma minus a 7.5.
Cody doesn't think Gunny can go back to back. Has Gunny ever gone back to back?
The last coach to go back to back versus OU is Les Miles in 01 and 02.
Man, Barrett, what do you think here? OU favored correctly, or you think this line should be tightened up in OSU's favor?
I do want to say I think that's right. Sorry, go ahead, Barrett.
No, I mean, listen, OU is still the big brother when it comes to football. Chill out, wrestling people. Okay. And I think going into a hostile environment, Bedlam's going to be rocking still. OU fans should be coming out in droves. Don't just stop supporting the team. Don't be a fair weather fucking fan just because they're 5-5. Just give coach, a year or two with his guys that he's recruiting, and they should beat Oklahoma State. They should beat them. Oklahoma State has been pretty bad. I mean, they are just on a skid pretty much, but OU isn't looking great, but I think OU is going to lock it down and beat Gundy for sure. Yeah.
I like it. Yep.
Yeah. I know, but I know wrestling's like one of the biggest
differentials.
And programs there at Oklahoma State.
Yeah, that's literally their head program. That's where they get all their money.
Yeah.
But OU 7.5. If I were to throw an alternate line, I'm talking OU 2.5. I think DG's gonna have to drive the field to win this game at the end of the ball game. I don't think we can stop OSU's offense. They're not even like a crazy potent offense either. That's what's crazy about it. But like Seth said, we literally can't stop a nosebleed. We couldn't even find the tissue to help like put underneath our nose, man. It's just we can't figure it out. Defense can't figure it out. Offense is struggling. DG with like 6 picks in the last 2 games. It's not looking good. A lot of those aren't his. Well, 3 out of the 6 aren't his fault, so half aren't his fault. But it's like the offense just isn't moving. The defense isn't moving. Special teams isn't even looking good. We're giving up long punt returns, long kick returns. Luckily, we have Michael Turk who's kicking them out of the end zone most of the time. But the past 2 weeks, he's given up 2 that have gone back for like 40 yards. So special teams ain't looking good. Nothing in OU is looking great right now. So I still think OU comes out on top in this contest, but it's only going to be by a field goal.
Yeah, if Oklahoma State didn't have Spencer, I think it'd be an OU blowout. I don't know. Gunnar Gundy is not capable of leading this team this year. You never know what happens next year. I don't even think he starts next year. And Rangel, if you put Rangel in, I don't know if his red shirt goes away. So Spencer Sanders is going to be the key to this game. I think he's been the key to every Oklahoma State games. OSU goes how Spencer Sanders goes. If he's red hot, it's going to be hard to beat Oklahoma State, even in Norman, just because of who it is. It's a running quarterback. He's going to get in the end zone. He's going to expose Oklahoma's defense.
God.